Chair Anderson, let me check attendee side to see if Dave is there.
Just joined us.
Yeah,
Joined us? Okay.
Hi,
okay,
Dave.
we're all here.
Hi there.
This is a meeting of the Finance and Administration Committee. And today is September 12th, 2022. All members are present. And the time is a few minutes after 2. Now-
Exactly
Anderson,
two.
Oh, okay.
because this is a virtual meeting, I have to conduct a roll call of the
Okay.
committee members. Committee member Paul,
Here.
committee member Edwards,
Here,
Chair Anderson,
Here,
all committee members are present.
okay, are there any additions or corrections to the agenda?
Chair Anderson, earlier this morning, I did send out an additions and corrections sheet. I'm not
Yes.
sure if all of the committee members have had an opportunity to review the changes to the meeting agenda and then also some of the material. So if I may, I'll go ahead and share my screen here so that way the public knows what is being revised. Pursuant to Government Code Sections 54954.2 of the California Government Code, the following additions are being made into the record. Under action items, we have a revised title. Consider adding the position of district engineer to the district's organizational chart. And then there is a revised staff report included in the email that was sent out this morning, both a red line version and a clean version. The same thing goes for item number 3. Consider adding the position of public outreach coordinator / public outreach specialist to the district organizational chart. Also in that email, a revised staff report was submitted along with a revised exhibit 3A. All of the changes that were made are non-substantive in nature. However, warrant an admin correction to the record for consistency purposes and to make editorial changes as deemed fit. Chair Anderson, there's no more additions or corrections to this meeting agenda.
Okay, thank you, Joel. So at this time, we invite comment from the public on issues that are not on today's agenda. Do we have any people raising their hands?
Chair Anderson, we have no members of the public attending this meeting at this time.
Okay,
I'll return back to the committee.
thank you so much. The first item is the adoption of the July 11th committee meeting minutes.
I'll move approval.
Second.
All right, no discussion about anything. If there's nobody here, I guess not. So.
I didn't have any corrections.
He went over all the corrections.
Okay,
Good job.
all right, so let's take a vote.
Sarah,
Director Edwards,
Approval.
Director Paul,
Approval.
Chair Anderson.
Approval.
Motion passes 3-0.
So, Dave and Suresh, who wants to talk about the position of district engineer?
Yeah, I think we can even let Simona have this one. We have developed a job description and a salary range for the promotion of Maureen Hamilton from senior water resource engineer to district engineer. And this is the supporting material for you to do so.
Okay. Do any of the board members have any questions about this proposal?
The list of essential functions is so long. Does Larry actually do all these things?
Now. Yeah,
Or
when and
when
if,
he,
it not 100% all the time. It's not 24/7, but, and actually you guys had also asked about supervisory roles in talking to John Lear. Maureen, as district engineer, will have the ability to assign duties to William in our Water Resources Division, as well as Corey Steinmetz in our Water Resources Division as needed. But yeah, don't think of it as 100% on all the time for all these duties.
And those are mostly from her existing position as senior water resources. It's basically what she's already doing. And then we just added a couple more duties that fall under more of the district engineer, what Larry was doing.
Okay, and let's see. Can't find where it is right now, but Larry is going to stay on for a while. Is that right?
Right, but he'll receive a letter at the end of this week or after this board meeting, basically saying you're still a PERS compensated annuitant, but you're not any longer serving in the role of district engineer. And he'll continue to wrap up some of the project work out at Sleepy Hollow, but that'll be pretty much it. I would imagine, Suresh, by the beginning of the calendar year, he'll be done with us, or roughly.
Yeah, that's what the plan is. I think he's wrapping up all his projects, so he'll probably be still working on a very limited scope, if any, after post January 1. But the anticipation is that he should be winding down, and pretty much all of the projects should be coming to wraps by the end of the calendar year.
And we've already, I was just gonna say, we've already had the advantage of Maureen doing project management and managing consulting engineers and project managers, owners, project reps, and so forth. So she's been serving quite a bit of the duties of district engineer.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
I have one question through
Yeah.
the chair, if I may. In terms of promoting Maureen to this position, are there any particular procedural requirements that we need to bear in mind in terms of how we do that? It's a question for Dave Laredo, I think.
You have the ability to promote from within without doing an open recruitment. If you chose to hire from outside, then you would have to do an open recruitment.
Okay, but it's permissible to promote from within.
That is correct.
Yeah, without, okay, thank you. I just wanted to be sure.
Yep, and she's actually the only qualified person because she's a professional engineer, registered professional engineer. John is a certified professional hydrologist, but not a professional engineer. So she's it. We tend to have one at a time and rotate them out.
Excuse me one moment, I'll be right back.
So have we ever thought about hiring another one?
Can you get it? No, I guess you can't.
She will be doing both roles, right?
Can you just, you're the window usher, can you just do that? Thank you.
I've got painters
Okay,
in my house.
she went on mute.
Yeah, we have thought about that, Director Edwards. So at this point, she'll continue to have some of the functions of the senior water resource engineer. Depending on what the direction of the district is with capital projects and so forth, we've always thought about hiring a junior level engineer, similar to what PBCSD tries to do, so that you've always got somebody in line coming up. A number of public works departments are structured the same way, where you've got a public works director who's an engineer, and then you've got another engineer. I think what we're seeing is assuming Pure Water Monterey expansion moves forward, we're back into project manager mode. And we're actually pulling away from that a little bit. We did all of the injection well project management, but we're kind of reassigning some of that work to Monterey One Water. So I'm not sure we're going to be building enough to warrant a junior level engineer. It would have been something to have really 4 years ago through now. But we never really staffed up, couldn't really staff up. And I'll be honest with you, everybody's been having trouble locating senior level or certified professional engineers. I know that the city of Seaside is still looking. Marina Coast Water District just filled their district engineer position a week ago. And it's been a real challenge on the Monterey Peninsula, the small little population. Folks used to want to move here on their own. And if our needs continue, and I don't just mean us as a district, but a lot of the public agencies, we might have to start paying moving expenses or do broader recruitments for things as simple as engineering positions.
Well, my next question is this: since you're doing dual roles, is this enough compensation for her? Not that I want to pay her more, but
Yeah, I think Simone and I talked and with Suresh's approval, and I think what we've done is we've slotted her where she'll not only have a cost of living adjustment upward, but she'll have a step change that, or what do we call them, range change, that will allow her advancement in that position as well. So I think it's fairly placed. All of our district engineers have worn two hats, as we talked about before, usually a division manager and a district engineer. Here it'll be district engineer and water resource engineer. So I think it's well overdue. She's earned it. We made her life very challenging when she took the position, and she studied very hard to get her PE. Interestingly, at the same time, Allison Imamura, who was just appointed Monterey One Water's agency engineer, ended up studying for her professional engineer at the same time. So she and Maureen were kind of on the same track, comparing notes and a little bit of mutual support to each other. But yeah, it's at the right place. We do not pay as much as Monterey One Water, but we also don't have as broad of responsibilities. The number of both operations and planning, capital engineering work. So,
okay. And just my last question through the chair: benefits and taxes. That's the first time I've ever seen that on a job description. Is that counted in this 154,000?
No,
Or
it's
is that-
not. It's not, Director Edwards. It's basically 154,000 plus any benefits and taxes. And basically the benefits and taxes are going to be health insurance, PERS. It's hard to put pin a number on that until the employee actually shifts in that role. So we cannot put a fixed number on there.
Okay. All right. That's first time I've seen something like that. Just
It'll be roughly about 35% of the base amount.
okay.
yeah, and that's a good rule of thumb, that everybody always costs about 33 to 35% more than their salary.
All right.
Yep. Okay, do we have a motion? Or did we already do that? I forgot already.
I will make a motion to approve, but I'm taking it out to the public because we have one public in the meeting now.
Okay. Let's do that.
If you have any questions or comments for this item, please use the raise hand icon. I see no raised hands, Chair Anderson.
How about if somebody's calling in?
It's just one person online.
Okay. Okay, thank you. No comments, so I'll second it. And
And we
let's
and
have
we
a
can
roll call vote.
Okay. Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Edwards,
Yes,
Chair Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, so we'll move on to number 3. I have a question about this just before we start. We've got item number 3 and item number 4. One is for a consultant and one is for a district employee. Is that we're asking for 2, not one or the other? Is that right?
That is correct.
Okay.
Public Outreach Committee met. We might not end up utilizing the full budget for consulting services. And the way we're going to post the employee position is it could be more senior or more junior, which will affect a little bit of the compensation structure, but we won't know until we recruit.
Okay. And that person then, if you do both, the person, this public outreach coordinator will also have other tasks with the district.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Okay. So, would you like to preview this for
Yeah.
Karen?
Yeah. So
Albert?
the, and I'm not looking at the agenda. I think it goes employee first and then consultant second.
That's right.
Yeah, and so the employee, similar to the district engineer, this is a job description and duties that would be used to develop a posting for recruitment. It's pretty widely encompassing of what we're looking for in a public outreach person, but pretty typical of that kind of position. So it captures a lot of what we've talked about in public outreach committee meetings. You know, I think one of our primary concerns with going straight to an outside firm is if they're not local or they're not really up to speed, then a lot of the things that we need to get done are going to fall through the cracks. And so we really do need a person on staff maintaining mailing lists and updating them and mastering the use of either Constant Contact or MailChimp to push out newsletters and more frequent press releases and that kind of thing. So this person would manage the relationship with any consultant as well, with some oversight by my office and Stephanie Locke out of Water Demand. Similar to what we did with the district engineer, there's a salary range and benefits will be, you know, another third on top of that. But I think that one's ready to go so we can get out there and search. And so we would want to approve that one. And then I guess I'll wait on the consultant services until you've had a chance to discuss this one.
Okay, any questions from the Karen? You're muted.
I noticed that helping with grant, among the responsibilities in the job description are researching potential, the very last item on the essential, it says essential and marginal function statement.
Yeah.
And the very last on this list is number 15 is to help with grant funding opportunity. So I just want to be sure that you see that as included in the job description. My second, so that's a question. And after that, I have a comment, but let's start with the question, please.
Yeah, so it's not atypical to have your, you know, there's different titles. Sometimes it's external, you know, director of external affairs or manager of external affairs, public outreach liaison, public outreach specialist, public outreach manager. But in all cases, some of the grant writing falls into the hands of this person, mostly just so this person coordinates who's responsible for what, what's the grant calendar, Oftentimes you'll have an outside grant writer consultant. So it's just more of a managing the process. Or if it becomes a small grant, take for example, right now, there's going to be an item on the board agenda next Monday for you authorizing staff to submit a grant. We're taking that over from Monterey One Water because they're really the wrong agency. And so Marine's got duties, I've got duties, John Lear has duties, and then Monterey One Water has some writing duties. And so this internal person would just oversee that team to make sure it actually gets done and submitted in a timely fashion.
I'll just add, as a person who's had a lot of grant experience, it's really important that, especially when you have either newish people or a team, that somebody oversees that it has a consistent feel and story that it actually matches together.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
Yeah, good point. And I
So-
mean, it makes sense. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Karen.
Yeah, well, it makes sense that the person in this job is really first-rate communication skills are like probably the most important, are really important in this job. So it kind of makes sense that, assisting with grant funding opportunities and possibly legislative affairs, which is the next to last thing on this list, that the person in this job might have the right skills to help with those things. This one comment is this job description to me seems, my first reaction is it's overwhelming. There's so much there, and so much detail. And I just putting myself in the shoes of a potential applicant, I see this and my God, and I understand that you want to cover all the entire scope or potential scope of the job, but would it make it a little more accessible or easily accessible if we could maybe distinguish between instead of including essential and marginal function statements in one list, maybe breaking them out, saying these are the essential things and these are the desirable qualifications, or the other functions that may be requested. I don't know, just to make it more digestible.
Yeah. I don't know, Simona or Suresh, if you've got a comment on that. I think that's what you're going to see anyway, is somebody's going to go, oh, I can do 60% of these things, so I'm qualified. And then you end up with 4 CVs that are 60% of what you're looking for. And then you look to see if they're all the same 60% or a different 60%, and which ones you're going to prioritize. But I see what you're saying. Just a little more clarity in the actual posting or the job description.
Yeah, the job ad is going to be more distinctive, and it's not going to be as overloaded as this is. But we can definitely, if the board desires, we can definitely streamline the job description as well. But we do definitely want to keep everything in the job description, because that covers our basis in terms of what we're hiring individual for. So we want to make sure it is laid out in a job description pretty distinctively what the essential functions are going to be. But the actual job posting, Simona, that's going to be more clarified and more short in nature, right? It's not going to be
right. And we follow like a typical job description for every position we post. So it kind of has to be in that format a little bit, where it says, the qualifications, the functions of the position, what are the other things, but like the duties that you're going to be doing. And this one's a little bit more extensive because we are hiring either junior or senior level. So we have to put a little bit more in there, because people that are applying are either going to fall short and then they would be more qualified for the junior position. But if we have more things in there, then we can also reach the people that are more qualified and be put in the senior position.
What about changing out the word marginal for occasional?
Oh, just in the qualifications.
Just,
Yeah.
just
Yes,
the
but-
essential and marginal. Marginal is kind of one of these words that makes it sound like these are unimportant, but we're gonna list them anyway. So,
We
I
can,
don't
we
know.
can fix that.
Yeah, we
change
can
that.
change that.
Oh, okay, with me is you're looking for somebody and you're really looking deep because you got some stuff on here that I like that grant writing situation. So how long is it going to take to vet this out? Where are you going to post this at? Are we going full blown? Is it going to take us another 90 days or another 120 or 180 to get this person on board? Somebody talk to me on that.
I think after, if it does get approved, then we can post it pretty quickly. We contract with RGS and they handle a lot of the recruiting for the position. So we'll be posting it wherever they see fit. If we have any ideas of certain sites, we put it on the regular ones. But we can probably have a 4-week listing. And then usually after the 4 weeks, we sit down and go through candidates that we've received. And if we don't have anything that's like substantive, then we'll prolong the posting for another couple of weeks and see what we have there. But I think we can post it pretty quickly.
Yeah,
So
direct AdWords, if we get it in the first shot, as Simona said, in terms of advertising, let's just say we get a candidate, then yeah, it's about a 3-month process in entirety from the posting to getting somebody on board.
okay, so we're looking at somebody probably at the end of the year,
Mhm.
just to be clear.
Mhm.
Okay, and I hope we do a good posting of it so somebody can't say, I missed it, or we didn't get it, or whatever. So I know you're going in California, but that's how far we're going, just in the state or just in the county?
No, it's statewide.
Thank you. That's what I wanted to hear. Okay.
Hey, any other questions or comments? Karen, you're muted.
Still
Muted.
muted. You still,
Sorry.
there you go.
I had some ideas on maybe some non-conventional organizations to help get the word out that might not be on the usual list. Organizations like Land Watch, maybe other environmental, local environmental or statewide environmental organizations that could, could help get the word out to them. So we could talk offline about that if you'd like.
That'd be good.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move to approve. Nobody in the public.
I second it.
Okay, let's have a vote.
Director Paul,
Yes.
Director Edwards,
Yes.
Chair Anderson.
Yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, this next item is essentially for this committee is just approving a not to exceed budget. It will go to the whole board as an action item and it could end up as simply discussion with additional direction. Sure, you are all aware that we've got some board members who want to hire somebody and go. We've inquired with certain firms who are out there, and we've had some communication with some of the firms. We've had no communication with some of the firms. And that may lead to a desire to, request greater qualifications. We did some outreach to Martin Rausch, and he is interested. We did some outreach to Spoke, and at first we were concerned that they were not being responsive. And then I think it was on Thursday, we got a very responsive and thoughtful response from them, but we haven't really sat down and identified the scope of services that we want. Wellman Ad has come in to talk to our staff on a couple of occasions, I guess, I won't say variety. And then the two kind of statewide firms KP Public Affairs with the Kapow web address out of Sacramento, and then Rally, which is out of San Francisco, have also been included due to recommendations of different board members. But again, today's action is just approving no more than $96,000 for the year, which is a maximum of $8,000 a month. I hope we would not be in that mode, but if you really want to do high quality, especially with larger firms, we should probably expect to do that. Director Paul's on, and I think Director Anderson was on too. Maybe you too, Director Edwards, on the last Legal Win Voters presentation with Pajaro Valley Water Agency out of Watsonville. They said they spend $200,000 on outside consultants for their public outreach. So with an ill-defined or undefined scope of services at this point in time, we felt prudent would be close to $100,000 that divided equally by 12 months in a year.
One question about that, Dave. Does Pajaro Valley also have an inside person, or they just do consulting? They have a consultant for all of their.
Yeah, the consultant handles all of their work.
Okay.
Which is what we were doing for the last 8 years. And, we had quite a bit of success. I think in both cases, the TMD experiment was a bad outcome.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas Brand Consulting did dedicate quite a bit of on-hands time to the district. So it was a little bit like having a district employee, and you could task them that way because they were local. But there was, we were always up against some a little bit of procrastination here and there as well. So
yeah,
nothing's perfect.
No.
So I listened to that outreach meeting in August. I listened to it a couple of times to make sure I got it and read this thing 3 or 4 times. My biggest concern is I think it's the full board ought to hire this person. I looked on here and he got three ways, but that committee is going to hire him. No, I believe in the full board doing this one. Full board, and if we can take action at the next meeting, I would like to, but if we don't have all the information that we feel that we need and won't have it ready, maybe we can postpone it, but we need to get on this one. We've been talking about this a long time. And we playing like the catch-up game on this. So I would like to see if you can get all the information that you need so we can make a board decision. Hey, I don't mind a special meeting just to do this because it's important to me. It's important and it's supported to all the board members, I believe. So letting 3 people make that decision, I don't agree with that. So.
Director Edwards, the entire committee was very clear that this is a decision for the entire board. I mean, we agree totally. That's why we.
I'm just reading the staff note.
Yeah, I think what he's referring to is the direction that we expect to get from the board would have been a redelegation to either the public outreach committee or to a special subcommittee. And I get what Director Edwards is saying, which is no. If we don't act on this thing next Monday, then let's get qualifications and then act on it as a board as a whole, not a subcommittee or a committee. Yeah,
that's right.
I'm okay with that. I'm just looking for a process because, as I've said, you've got a board member too who are like, we know who can help us, let's just hire them. And I'm okay with that. But if you're not okay with that, I'm also okay with actually asking for a statement of qualifications, statements of interest, qualifications, and a rough budget. And then if you want to hear more, you could also do interviews, but that's typically what we would do, is try to find qualified folks and get more information from them.
Right. And well, we're trying to hire somebody and we probably going to put them under the gun. So if you contact all these people that you've been talking about and say, can you have your stuff in by when the packet going out, and that's the end of this week probably, and I don't know if they can, but I would like to see if they could, so we can move on this. So, and I know this ain't the first time we talked about it. We've been talking about it a long time. So that's my, I approve the costs, but process, I hope we can get it done on Monday.
I would,
Yeah. We won't have any statements of qualifications to have in front of you for the packet.
if we were to set, let's see, I don't want to say this. I think a special meeting discussion would be appropriate for this, for a hiring, particularly because there is. Sorry. Spams, because there is well, there's one person that's local, there's one organization that's local. If we could set a special meeting and then request the packets, let's say, like by 5 days before that meeting, so we can all see them. Because I agree with Dave, we're not gonna get them by next Monday, not if people want to put together and if they have enough time to prepare it, we'll know who's not interested and who is interested.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the undercurrent of what we wrote in the staff note is we'd be asking the board to do, which is what is it you're comfortable with, direct staff to do that, because I don't think you're going to be comfortable with just picking one on Monday, having kind of different quality and different level of understanding of the different firms. So it'd be best to put them all on an equal playing field, have you review some material and then decide what to do.
Okay.
So what would be the realistic timetable for following that procedure, requesting the RFQs and then making a decision?
Yeah, I'd have to talk to Stephanie Locke about Spoke because I think the principal is off this week, but that would be in the communications she received from them. If not, we could probably get qualifications back by the end of next week and package it all up. So it could be, I don't even know if you need a special meeting.
We have that date sort of reserved, September 29th.
I was going to bring that up. The 29th is a scheduled meeting, and here's your agenda right there for that item.
Would it be doable?
I'm thinking it probably would not be, but counting days right now.
And if not, maybe as soon as possible after that, maybe first week or second week of October, maybe.
I'm trying to be nice.
Yeah.
But you need to tell them the 29th, we're gonna have a meeting. If you interested, get your stuff in. That's from me, come on, let's push it. We've been pushing this one a long time. I like to hire somebody before our director leaves.
Yeah, well, again, we can't do it until you meet as a board next Monday. So otherwise we'd be preempting an action item of the board where you're going to direct us to do what this subgroup of the board is trying to direct us to do. So I understand what you're saying. It's just,
if we can't get it going, I'm trying to get it going. If we can't get it going, we'll hire somebody that night if we got the votes.
yeah.
So I'm trying to be as fair as I can be with this. That's why I'm saying we need to push people if they want the work.
Right.
We don't hire people and then they got the job and then we didn't get too much out of them.
Well, we have to give them enough time to write something that shows us who they are and what kind of a job. Do they write well? Do they communicate well? I got to see that. So, we can't ask for it in 5 days.
Why not?
Because we won't get the product that we need. I don't think we did.
If
for
I
the
want
last
to
one.
work, oh, yeah, okay, if I want to work and I feel I need it, I'm gonna put out what I want to put out and do the best I can within 5 days, within
Well,
3
we
days.
disagree on that.
Well, we would just disagree, but we need to move this. And I mean,
Well,
move it.
we all agree with that, Alvin, we all agree with
Well,
that.
I'm not gonna wait another month until everybody feels satisfied that they had enough time.
Well,
Well,
if the board direction is needed, the board can give direction on our next meeting on the 19th. We can give direction to go ahead and request RFPs from those agencies that are interested, that we know are interested from the preliminary conversations. We might limit it to the ones that are local. I don't know, depending on what the board decides about that. So we might have, let's say maybe three RFQs to look at in a special meeting. And if we can't make it by the 29th, there's not much time.
Yeah,
From the
you're not-
19th to,
yeah. not-
I feel like,
We can hire somebody Monday night. I'll make a motion to hire somebody Monday night. That put an end to that.
the board might decide that at the meeting. Yeah, they might. We might.
Well, if that's what they decide, or that's what we decide, that's the way it goes. But I'm gonna make a motion because I feel that this needs to be done. And we need to be done, and we don't want to push people. And I bet you call those firms up in San Francisco and San Jose and tell them that, hey, we need something done by such and such a day. They're going to get it if they want the money. They're going to put out the material if they want the money.
Madam
So-
Chair, if I could comment on that,
Yes,
while you could approve the hiring of a consultant on Monday night, but only if that is on the agenda. At the moment, the agenda does not call for that.
Thank you, Mr. Laredo. I seen that too. That was my next item. We're gonna fix
Well, wait a
that.
minute. What does it say? Because then maybe we need to redraft it because it's supposed to be an action item where they have the option of hiring somebody at that meeting or directing something else.
The agenda that I'm looking at is approved budget for outside consultant.
Right.
On the board agenda?
Yes,
which number
Okay.
is that? Is that,
it's item 16.
oh, I see, yeah.
Yeah, no, that
Yeah.
needs to be revised. It
So it
needs to be
just says-
revised to allow for another action.
There's
Right.
plenty of time to correct it. I just want to
Yeah.
point it out that you
But it
can't
says-
act if it's not framed in the agenda.
Right,
It says approved budget. That's different than choose consultant.
right.
I think staff understands what needs to be done.
Yeah. This meeting was to recommend approval of a budget. The board's action is to either just approve the budget and ask for more scope of services from prospective consultants, or just hire one within the budget.
That's
Um,
what I heard in the outreach meeting. And I heard it and then I read it and let's get it right.
And that's why we're still kind of up in the air, if you will, because we staff didn't send out a request for qualifications because that wasn't the direction. The direction was, well, maybe we have the votes, we'll just hire somebody. And I said, well, maybe you do, but what if you don't? So we're not in a position to send out a request for qualifications because that's not been the board direction. So, we can do that tomorrow because we need the whole board to weigh in. And that's simply because, as Director Edwards pointed out, there may be one or two board members say, no, I know who I want, let's just hire them. And then you have to have that discussion, all 7 of you.
Okay, so thank you, General Counsel, for pointing that out. Make sure our agenda allows for that possibility for the board to make that decision to hire one person or to direct staff to solicit RFQs.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, that was,
Exactly.
I think where we,
Well, yeah.
And we don't want to solicit the RFQ until we know what the board's gonna do on Monday.
Yep.
Yeah, I wish that were not necessary to wait, but
Yeah.
if it is, it is.
Well, we
It
need to
has to
start
be.
being more proactive. General manager know how the board think. So if he jump ahead of us a little bit, I don't mind. It shows me he got, he's moving us along. So
We-
to get
we
this
were-
done,
we
I
were-
don't mind him jumping on it and sitting up there
Yeah.
saying, I'm sending out this already and get them back in there because I know how important it is to the board. So,
Yeah, we were heading in that direction 2 months ago, but we all know what we're talking about here. There's a difference of opinion among the board members as to whether we want to just hire somebody that some board members are quite comfortable and familiar with or not. And so that's been the crux of the problem, is we haven't gotten quite to that full board decision. And so we've been kind of stuck.
Yeah, we have
Okay,
talked about it pointedly with the whole board.
Yeah.
right. So that will happen on a week from today.
Correct.
All right, so dealing with the item as it's presented, the approving the cost estimate.
I move approval.
I'll second that.
Okay. We'll vote. Sarah,
Director Edwards,
Approval.
Director Paul,
Yes,
Chair Anderson.
yes,
Motion passes 3-0.
So Suresh, is that it for my items?
Yes,
do we-
well, there's the legal services review, if you want to stick around for that, and then there's the board agenda.
Okay. I'm actually up at a water reuse conference, California Water Reuse up in San Francisco, and Shudo's on a panel right now, and then Mike McCullough's on a panel in about 2 hours. So I just want to get in there. But Shudo's panel goes for another hour, so I'll slip in there, hour and 15 minutes. So
I won't keep you, Dave, too long. You're already covering something I wanted to cover anyway at your water demand meeting.
yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir. And we need that on the agenda.
Yeah,
Appreciate
it will be on the agenda. So if it's not in the packet that you've seen, then Joelle and I will get together. And I think, the way things are going right now, just so you know, the League of Women Voters presentation on Wednesday, I think I'll break it into 2 parts, one on supply and demand and one on Measure J. The Measure J piece being an update on the appraisal and what that timeline would be. But the supply and demand part might be a preview to what I present to the board next Monday.
Mhm.
So,
I'll be there.
yeah.
Got my invitation in. Got
Well,
it back. All
is
right.
there a reason for us to change the order right now and get the items done that you need to talk about, Dave, so you can go back to the meeting?
Well, no,
Yeah.
I think Suresh can handle the legal review, as long as the little colorful bar is in the right place, which I think it is.
It is.
So, yeah, so we look pretty good there. And
And it
then,
won't take that long now. We've only got just a few items. It should
Yeah.
go very
Okay,
quickly.
okay.
So the next item, which is
I'll
item
stick-
number 5, is the declaration of surplus assets. So this is basically an action where basically any asset that we get rid of at the district, we have to bring it to the board's attention to declare them surplus first before we get rid of them. Everything that's on the surplus list this time are the physical tower computers that was replaced with laptops.
Mhm.
Some of those items on the surplus list are still in use, but it's being phased out because the laptop has not been fully provisioned, meaning there are some softwares that's left to be installed and all that. But in about a month or 2 months, everything should be pretty much phased out and everything should be on laptop. But a whole bunch of them are on the laptops. And we're trying to get rid of the towers. We don't want to unhook those towers and just make them a eyesore at the district office. So we're trying to declare them surplus. And then as we get rid of those towers, we want to completely get rid of them.
Okay,
and I have an ethical violation to report. I told our maintenance guys to just throw out a table and throw out a bookshelf from like 1970, and they weren't.
Yeah, but that was okay because they were not on the fixed asset list. So
Oh, good.
we're perfectly fine with that. But these items that we declare surplus, they are on the fixed asset list.
There was already a mouse nest in one of them or something.
That was a closet, but yeah, that one too. And this gentleman's name is Dave, and his staff goes, "Oh, you want us to just put it down in the garage and you can decide what to do with it?" I'm like, "No, just take it on a truck."
Yeah. Last Chance Mercantile, they'll take it. Okay, so do we have anybody here who wants to say anything about this in the audience?
Mayor Anderson, I see no raised hands.
Thank you.
I move approval.
Okay, I second it.
Okay, Director Paul,
Yes,
Director Edwards,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson.
Yes,
Motion passes 3-0.
Next, item number 6 is the consider adoption of treasurer's report for the month of June. During the month of June, we did write checks in the amount of $1.5 million. Of those, $34,000 were for rebates paid out. Actual treasurer's report on page, my version doesn't give the page number, but it's the next page, Exhibit 6A, which is the treasurer's report. We began the month with $21.2 million in the bank, and we finished the month with $21.6 million in the bank. All of the activities are listed on Exhibit 6B, C, and D. If there are any questions on those check registers, I'll be happy to answer them.
I don't
no
have any.
questions from me.
no, I don't have any.
You need a motion to approve?
Yeah.
I move approval.
I'll second it. Thank you for.
Okay, and I see no
Hearing.
raised hands by the public. Okay, I'll take the vote now. Director Edwards,
Approval.
Director Paul,
Yes,
Mayor Anderson.
Yes,
Motion passes 3-0.
Item number 7 is the receive and file fourth quarter financial activity report for fiscal year 21-22. The quarter concluded on June 30th, so we are doing a snapshot of where we are for the fiscal year ending. Exhibit 7A shows all the figures in tables, and then Exhibit 7C, B and C are basically same information, the revenues and expenditure charts. Showing the same information, but in a graphical format. On my staff note itself, I have pretty detailed explanation of each line item, where the differences are and why there's differences. But on the revenue side, we finished the year with $23.1 million against a $27.3 million budget. Most of the differences were due to the reserves. Those don't get transferred until after the audit. And then also there were some differences on line items like grants and reimbursements, and those are basically not in our control. That's basically, as it happens, materializes, then yes, if not, then it doesn't. On the expenses side, we closed the year $20.3 million against a $27.2 million budget. Most of the differences, again, were on the project expenses and the reserve line items. And again, those entries don't get made until after the audit. But my staff note does capture in detail each line item relative to the revenue and expense side.
thank you for preparing all that, by the way.
yeah. Yes, thank you, Suresh.
Very clear.
It's helpful to have those explanations in writing in advance of the meeting. Yeah.
Any questions from the board?
Not from me.
Members? I have none.
Yeah, for me.
Okay,
Um,
go out to the public. Any,
I see no raised hands, Chair Anderson.
thank you. Approval,
you need a second?
I guess.
I'll second it.
Okay,
Director Edwards,
Approval.
Director Paul,
Yes,
Chair Anderson.
yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Next item, number 8, consider approval of fourth quarter fiscal year 21-22 investment report. This investment report for the year ended June 30th. Every quarter we have to report it. And so this is what I was going to say. So this investment report is in compliance with our own district investment policy. And then it's also in compliance with the California Government Code. And also all of the investments are the permitted investments within the County of Monterey. The actual investment report on Exhibit 8A, as you can see, our money are pretty much staggered around with the LAIF, Local Agency Investment Fund, having the largest investment. And then we have the money market and checking account with the Bank of America. And then also we have the multi-bank securities, where basically it's the staggered certificate of deposit amounts. And you can see all of the various deposits with different maturity dates. And then we also report on the CORD PBCSD reclamation project investments as well, but those are just reporting requirements. And so those are listed towards the bottom part. But as you can see, all of the investments has the market value, the cost basis, also has the annual rate of return. So we're doing fairly well against the LAIF with our staggered CDs.
Ready? Anything that you want to particularly point out to us?
No, the only thing is our interest rates started declining, as you can see on the MSB securities, the CDs. You'll see some of those are low yield CDs, like at 0.6, 0.4. But then recently, we've started getting favorable interest rates with the Feds pushing the rates. And so now you can see the last 2 CDs we've bought were definitely above 3%. We've also bought some CDs in August and September. They were above 3%. So the yield curve is again turning upwards now. And LAIF will also go up, but what the problem with LAIF is that it's a long-term investment rate. So it takes a long time to go down and then also takes a long time to go up. So as you can see, LAIF's only giving us 0.75 against our average yield on the CDs, which is about 1.43. So we definitely are doing on our CD investments, we definitely are doing double what LAIF is giving us. So as we find opportunities, we do bank the money on the with the CDs. It's the safest, and it's all FDIC insured as well. So no surprises. We play safe, and then we also try to get the biggest yield possible.
Any questions, comments from the board, from the directors?
None for me.
Okay,
if there's no public comment, I will move that to recommend to the board receiving and approving the report.
I'll second it.
Director Paul,
Yes,
Director Edwards,
Yes.
Chair Anderson.
yes.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, and
So items 9 and 10 are just informational items. If there's any questions on those, we can take them, or we can move to item number 11.
I have no questions on them.
No questions from me.
I am ready to move on to 11 also.
So item number 11 is the review fourth quarter legal services activity report for the fiscal year 21-22. Now that we've closed June, we do have the updated numbers, Exhibit 11A, which actually gives the numbers in a table form, and then Exhibit 11B, which shows all the numbers over the last, I'm trying to remember how many years it is now, about 9 or 10 years. We're showing the legal expenses for the last 10 years. So this year we came very close to what we budgeted. We budgeted $400,000. And our actual legal expenses was $400,702. So we went over budget by $700, but as you can see, it was very much in line what we had budgeted.
Excellent. And surprising, given the amount of legal.
Yeah, we had
stuff
some activities that was
Yeah.
actually not what was intended or planned actually, but it was related to the Prop 218 advice, the MPTA lawsuits,
LAFCO.
the LAFCO process.
So rest from me, is there any way we can put this either in the general manager's report or the attorney's report? I know if we went over, we went over, and we need to tell the public that we went over by if it's so much, but they are concerned about legal costs. And for us to be upfront about it and tell them after everything closed out, this is the number, because I don't think we did too much of it when we approved the budget.
Yeah, I
But,
can definitely talk to Dave and see if he can slip it in his general
General
manager.
manager, yes.
Yeah, we
Um,
definitely have the chart. He can, throw it up on his PowerPoint or something.
Right, and just show the people where we at and tell them.
That's a good suggestion. I like that because we have a gadfly or two that likes to say that we're ignoring legal expenses and we're not.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's why I want to do it. So they know we up front. We didn't talk too much about legal in the budget too much, but now everything is closed out for last year. This is where we at. And we can explain to them like the taxpayers and all this, LAPCO and all that. All
Yeah,
right.
we can say how much of that total was LAFCO.
Yes, so whatever that is, and they know we've been up front. All right. You need approval on this one?
No, this is just a review item. It doesn't go to the board.
Okay.
This is just for the Finance and Administrative Committee, but I will definitely talk to Dave and have him include the chart on his GM comment.
Yes, please.
And so were we, just for number 12, did we take care of what we wanted to add to that agenda?
If I could go back to number 11 just for a moment. Suresh, when this goes to the board, may I suggest you also add the two items that for under permit and deed review and water rights review, those are all reimbursable. And
Okay.
you might show that there is a net, and that net does bring you below the budgeted expenditure.
That's a good point.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so item number 12 is for the committee members review.
And there was a question on adding something about the outside consultant, wasn't that right?
On the outreach consultant?
Yeah.
Yes, we will change the wording on item number 16. It says approved budget. It'll
Mhm.
most likely say approved contract for outside consultant for public outreach services.
Okay,
That will take care of that.
yeah. Thank you.
And make sure it's in there that we can approve or move on to those two items in there. We either going to select or we want to go to the other one. And I think, please, through the chair, the chair of the board, confirm that that meeting date for us. The 29th, I think it is, for that special meeting, if we need it.
September 29th.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I believe Dave just said probably not possible. Didn't he?
You on mute there, Karen?
Yeah, I think Dave said it wouldn't be possible to have RFQs, in time for that meeting.
Well,
Oh, I thought he said that meeting wouldn't be possible for him, for his schedule, but
Oh, is that what you understood?
yeah, I thought, that's how I
Okay.
heard it, but I don't know.
Oh, okay.
We'll get the clarification from him.
yeah, just get the clarification if we need a special meeting. Can we have that? If people don't have what they need to have by then, I don't know what to say. Okay,
Tara, would you please take note for item 16 to change the word budget to contract?
Got it.
Thanks, Joel.
Well, should it be the authorized contract? Because we won't have a contract in front of us. Dave Laredo,
Yeah.
Does that
authorized
make
contract
sense
would
to-
work.
You on mute there, attorney? Dave?
Yes.
Okay.
authorizing,
If you don't have a contract ready to have before you, you cannot well, you can authorize it, but it
Yeah,
just depends on what's in the packet.
could approve a budget, and we could potentially authorize
Right,
a contract,
that's correct.
right?
That's correct.
Okay. I think that'll be clear.
Yeah, we'll make it clear.
Okay. Yeah, and if there's any question about it, you want to check with me, just, give me a call or. Yeah. Okay. And
Okay, I think unless anybody has any other things that they need to bring up right now, that we can adjourn.
Thank you.
Thank you. Dwight.
thank you. Thanks to all of you.
Thank you.
1 second,
Oh,
1 second.
Alvin,
I
Yeah.
wonder if we could get at our next meeting or sooner, see how much a lobbyist would cost us. If we want to get a lobbyist for the Coastal Commission,
Okay.
Mr. Laredo.
oh,
I was trying to seek clarification as to lobbyists at what level. So you made it clear, Coastal Commission lobbyist.
Yes, it's for the,
Yeah.
it's for the project, for the Monterey Peninsula Water Project.
Yeah,
And a lobbyist for that, make it more clear. So can we get, tell Dave to look at cost and who could be, and they'll find out who's the best. Keep it under 100,000.
wait, where does this go in our agenda?
It goes on under anything that we wanted to add
Yeah,
Oh.
it's the,
for the next one. It's for the next one. It ain't for this one. It's for the next one. We need to start looking at that. And I'll probably bring it up at the board meeting too.
Okay,
Okay.
so the next committee meeting and you'll bring it up at the board meeting. Good. Okay,
Yeah,
good.
all right.
okay,
Thank you for your time.
thank you.
Thank you. Dwight.
Thank you all.
Thank you, staff.
Thank
Good
you.
job, staff. That's all of you on those job descriptions. All right, talk to you later.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.